started, and I'm going to let Ann take it from here to start us off.
All right, well, it's 7:04, so we are going to start. We're going to start our book club.
Woo! So the lighting of the match and the cigarette. Thank you, Ann. We wanted to make sure you felt at home, Laz.
I don't know if you can
feel at home, but I'm inside the house, so I can't do the same.
All right, so we have a lot of new people here tonight. It's super exciting to have so many people. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Coach Loretta. I am the facilitator for the book club, and I also coach with Ornery Mule Racing. So tonight, we're going to spend some time getting to know Laz a little bit. So if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand so we can get you a turn to answer or ask a question. And you can use the hand raising feature, which is over on the side, I believe. You click on, somebody help me. How do you click the button?
You click on reactions on the bottom.
Oh, that's it, in the bottom
of the panel.
All right, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
So if you have a question, just click on that, and then we'll get you a turn to speak with Laz. Also, Michelle gave me a code for our book club group this month. This is good through March 31st, and it's in the chat. So if you put in Laz Book Club, you'll get 20% off orders of $25 or more. And it doesn't include subscriptions. But all right, is there anybody? I know we've read through part 3 of the book, and I've seen some comments. Some people are struggling getting through because it made them really sad. But as we know, in the end, it ends up really happy. So does anyone want to start us off with a question? Anybody want to start us off? Raise your hand through the reactions.
Loretta, what was the question again?
I wondered if anybody had a question to start us off.
Oh, about the book?
Yeah, about the book, or if you have a question for Laz.
Laz, I've been reading the book, and I just started part 2, the abandon, where it says abandon. Laz, do you still have this dog? Are you there?
I don't know if I can do it or not. Wait, I can turn the light on.
I think they're getting storms. Ooh, we can't see you. Your camera's off.
No, but you're not seeing right here. No, I see you.
Are we on here?
Yeah, there's me.
And your camera doesn't seem to be on.
It was. It
It's
just seemed to
showing on
be
our
frozen up.
screen.
Now it seems like it's off.
Yeah.
No,
Laz
it's the internet. Our internet is unstable. It just told me.
Okay.
We're struggling because of incoming thunderstorms.
Okay.
So
So
we'll try again.
Loretta, what they can do is turn off
No.
their video, and that would help with the bandwidth.
Okay. Did you hear that, Laz?
Yeah, we can turn off. Yeah, I know. We can turn you guys off.
Yeah, and see if that
It's a shame
helps.
you can't see video, but he's not doing much. We finished supper and he's still in the.
Uh-oh, did we lose them? I think we might have lost them altogether.
Yikes. See what my question did, made him go away.
I guess so. Well, I see them still here. Laz, can you hear us?
We haven't been able to hear you. It's clicked off a couple of times.
Okay, now we can hear you.
To miss getting to the bed. He's not exactly asleep because we put a camera in his face, or the computer in his face, so he was looking at it.
Oh, and we missed it. Connie, would you like to ask your question again?
Yes, I've been reading the book and I'm on the part 2 where it says abandoned, where he's gone to Sam's, but I wanted to know if he still had the dog. Laz? He doesn't like me.
Laz?
I still got mine, see, little.
Huh.
Oops, we can see them again.
Oh, look at this. It's got her little.
Well,
Oh, there he is.
but we- do you, Robert, do you think it would be good if we all turned ours off? Would that make a difference for
No.
theirs or no? It just has,
No.
would be just his?
Yeah, it's just theirs. What they could do, and this is in the comments from Shanna, they can actually call the number, the phone number, instead of trying to communicate through the Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So there's a phone number that we've got in that they can actually call in instead of coming in through Zoom.
Okay. Did you hear that, Laz? Here we go. Oops. So they, I don't know if you guys heard, but they have storms coming through their area. Their internet is already a little sketchy, but with storms coming through, it's causing more problems for them. So their internet isn't very stable today. Can you hear us now, Sandy?
Yeah, we can. I don't have room to turn off the other and make all of you go away. I can't turn it because we're using that much. I cannot make it stop.
So somebody suggested to call in through the phone, and maybe we could hear him.
Maybe look at your chat and he can try to call in, but if he calls in.
I think what you could do is leave your video on, but mute your computer and have him call in so we can see you, but we'll hear him through the phone.
So how do I call?
Let me find the number. Does anybody
I'm
have
gonna-
the number?
Yeah, I'm gonna put in the
I'm
comments
gonna
right now.
hang up.
Okay, we're gonna,
It'll tell. You're not gonna be able to, because it won't say, oh, you're not gonna be able to see them.
Well, I wasn't worried about seeing them. I'll just
No,
call.
I mean, it keeps dying.
Yeah, I can call. If you just give me the number, I'll call it.
okay, we have the number in the comments. Can you see the comments? You know, this is kind of like an ultra marathon, right? We have to expect the unexpected. We never know what's going to happen, and we just persevere and we get through it.
Technology.
That's right. Yes, you're right, Jeff. Problem solving is the key.
The first mile of a race doesn't matter anyway.
There you go.
My wife has to come in here and get me on Zoom on her computer anyway. So if I had problems, I'd just be done.
And suggesting we all fuel with a little bit of beer, and then it will, you know, it kind of make it go by a little longer while we're waiting. But I wonder what Laz would say after he lit the cigarette if no one actually went off the start line. you know, we're kind of in that situation right now. The cigarette has been lit and we're going nowhere. Is he still on?
Okay.
Ooh,
We're all
Hello?
tripping over the gate.
hello.
Hello, I've got you on here. I'm trying to figure out where I can turn on the speakers so I can actually hear you too.
Any tips on that, you guys? Because we can
There
hear
we
you.
go.
There we go. We can
I
hear
need-
you
I
well.
needed the speaker so I could hear you.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Now I can go outside and smoke my cigarette because my reception is better outside.
Smoke one for me.
Okay. And is Big there? You'll have to show us Big when after you're done smoking your cigarette.
I don't know if I can show you anything on here. I count myself so lucky to have it up on the phone at all, but I'm not going to rock the boat.
All right. So I think Ryan Steiner had a question. Ryan, did you have a question for Laz? I think I saw that come up.
I was just trying to see how that worked.
Oh, okay. You're just testing the hand out.
I mean, I do kind of have a question. It's not
Okay.
about the book.
That's
I have
right.
a comment about the book, but I just want to know if on your walkthrough, if you're coming through Peru, Indiana, because I would love to walk with you and cook for you.
Oh, nice.
And we live on a trail that goes across the US, so I thought maybe you would be.
Are you going through Indiana, Laz? Are you here, Laz? I think we might have lost him.
Oh, technology.
Yeah, I'm looking. I see his name still up, so I think he might be here somewhere. But I don't see his phone number anymore. Do you guys see it? See the picture?
No, the phone has a slash through it. It's red. Or is that his meat? No, that's his phone. Yeah.
So he's muted.
Laz, are you there? If you're there, we can't hear you.
Across my phone, it said Cantrell left a minute
Oh.
or so ago.
Oh, I didn't see
I'm
that.
guessing we lost him again.
Okay. I'm really sorry about this, guys. I'm just as disappointed as everyone.
Can't control the weather.
No, you can't. Well, although when I was like in 3rd grade, there was a little boy in my class who thought I was Mother Nature and controlled the weather. So you don't know about this.
Well, in one of my favorite books, they talk about a rain god in Douglas Adams, The Hitchhiker's Guide, and I always imagined that I was a rain god because it rained when I was feeling down, but my mom told me I felt down because the rain was there.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was a rain god.
There he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. Can you hear us?
They're muted now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you guys are
you're
muted
muted.
now.
I can hear you.
Oh, we can hear
Yeah,
you
we-
now.
Now we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Now I don't know if you're hearing me through the phone or the computer.
I don't know, but it's really clear right now. And you can hear us now again?
I never lost you. I was here on my end looking at the phone trying to figure out why it was no longer carrying sound.
All
And
right.
I'm still talking into it.
All right. So can you, Ryan asked, are you going to be going through Indiana on your transcontinental, and would you like some support because he'd like to walk with you and feed you?
Yeah. The plan is for Sandra to support me, but I'm going on 231 all the way down Indiana. It starts just south of Lake Michigan.
That's
So
right.
I have like 20 miles to hit the end of 231. It goes down. It starts on the western side of the state, but it goes goes west of Blooming or west of Indianapolis. I think it goes through Bloomington. I know I go through Purdue. End up crossing the river at Owensboro. Or can you hear me anymore?
Yes, we can hear you. Yep. We're with you.
231 goes right.
I have
by
no faith.
So,
So I
is that
don't. Yes.
okay?
I
So
do.
Ryan, do you live near him?
I
Or,
do
I mean,
live.
live near
I-
where he's going?
I do live near 231. Yes, I do. So I would definitely love to meet up and walk with him for a while. That would be
So
awesome.
what's the best way to connect with you, Laz, for people that want to join you?
I'll be posting daily updates, and I don't know how people got a hold of me, because when I did the walk across before, I was just out there on the road. I think that they contact Sandra, who has access to stuff. Oh, there we went. Can you hear me still?
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay, so it was the phone that came back in.
Okay.
Before it went off a while ago, I heard chimes like a church bell, and then
We
y'all
did
couldn't
too.
hear me.
Yes, we heard that too. I thought it was you.
So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again.
Me too. Well, you see, Laz, I set this up like a Barkley. Maybe no one will finish.
And the weather is always a major factor.
Yep.
I'm actually looking forward to it tomorrow. I was supposed to go out and cut some down trees off the trail, but we're supposed to have these huge thunderstorms all through tomorrow. So I was looking forward to taking a long walk in the thunderstorms.
Oh. Will Big go, or will Big hide in his igloo?
No, he would want to go, but I'm not going to take him out into the storm. No, you don't want a wet 100-pound pit bull in your house.
Does anybody else have a question for Laz? Thank you, Ryan.
So
Patty.
Oops.
Sorry, Patty. Oops, you're muted, I think.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
tell us more about that walk that you're doing. When is it going to be, and then where are you going, from what part to what part of the country?
There's a little city on the Chicago side at the bottom of Lake Michigan that has a park where I can go right down to the water. Because if you're going to walk across something, you got to go water to water.
Yeah.
And then I'll come down US 41A until 231 branches off just about 20 miles south. And then I'll angle over and do 231 all the way to Fayetteville, Tennessee, which is 563 miles. And then that'll take me most of May. And then I'll take a break and direct the Heart of the South race in June. I have some issues with my feet that need some minor surgeries. So I was going to do 1 foot in June and then direct the race, because then I won't be on my feet much anyway. And that'll give it a chance to heal. Then do the other foot in July and direct the Vol State. And then in August, I should be healed up to go out and go the rest of the way from Fayetteville.
Oops, we lost your sound.
You got muted. It actually looked like it.
Yeah, it looked like it muted it.
Yeah,
Yep.
or lost the.
It was so clear for a hot second. All right, we can't hear you anymore, Laz. We can see your screen, but we can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Loretta, where's he starting that walk from?
I'm not exactly sure what he said. Did anybody catch it? Oh, here he's back.
I thought you
Lazarus
said
Lake, Michigan.
Chicago.
Yeah.
He said in Chicago, a little town right on the Chicago side, but in Michigan, on Highway 41, because I pulled up a map and started watching, looking.
Okay. We lost your sound again. It looks like you're muted, maybe.
I wonder if they're connected to the phone, if that means the phone drops. If he's having
Yeah,
trouble
I'm
with
not-
the signal.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Loretta, have you got?
Am I still
give me-
muted?
Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay, it's come back on. I guess I have to stay near the computer, maybe.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know why it's muting me.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
is
starting
weird.
right next to Chicago and coming down 41 and then getting on 231, which you can follow 231 all the way down. There's a couple of places in the north where I think I may have to parallel it on secondary roads just because of traffic.
Yeah.
But most of the route is good. It'd be like the old days. I can stay on the main road.
And what day are you starting?
The strolling gym is May the 1st. I think I'm starting, it'll be later that week. I'll have to wrap up all the financial stuff from the strolling gym so I can write the check for the school for their money. And then go to Chicago and start south. Really slow.
Awesome. Pat, do you have a question?
He said something about Big being wet and coming inside. So is Big allowed inside now?
Oh yes, Big has become a house dog. He's got his bed where he stays. And little by little, he's made his way from an outside dog to an all the time in the house dog.
So no more cages and crates and breaking through, huh?
No, he has a bed on the landing, and it's right behind where I sit to work on my computer, and that way he's always within arm's reach. If I want to reach back and pet a big dog, he's available.
Nice. Very nice.
And
I
if
wondered
go
if
watch
he'd get
TV,
inside.
if I go watch TV, he goes in and lays on the floor in front of my chair. And if I go to the bathroom, he goes and waits outside the door.
It sounds a bit spoiled.
No, he just feels like his job is to be within about 2 feet of me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should raise my hand.
Okay.
So can I ask you, did you ever really truly believe that he wasn't going to be your dog? I mean, as soon as I read it, I'm like, this is your dog. This is your dog. Did you really believe that you were gonna be able to not have it be your dog?
Yeah, that's how he got his name, because Sandra was gone when he came, and he was out on the porch, and I told her that there was a dog, and she went out and looked at him and said, "That big dog is not staying here."
And Big wins. So there is a question there's a question in the comments. Does he still have his Big Lou? Does he use it outside at all?
The Big Lou is out there, but he won't hardly stay in it. If no matter almost how cold it is, if he's outside, he's as close to the door as he could get. Even once he stopped being on a cable out in the yard and Big Lou was on the porch, he would sit on the steps instead. It'd be 20 degrees, you'd think he would freeze, but he needs to be as close as he can get.
So what kind of dog is Little?
Little is a half Jack Russell and half Bull Terrier. A real low energy dog.
So I know that you've been putting in lots of miles to get ready for your transcontinental. How many of the miles are the dogs doing with you?
I take them out in the morning and we either do 1 or 2 miles in the woods, although we're probably going to be switching now to going up and down the driveway because it's the ticks and chiggers are reclaiming the woods for the summer.
Okay. So how many miles a week are you doing right now? Total for you?
Mostly 70 to 80 a week. I've been in the low 80s a few times. Like during the Barkley, I got 6 miles in 6 days because there's just was no time to do anything else. And when we had the ice storm, I had a similar stretch. So my overall mileage is not as high as I would like, but the basic pace is 75 or 80 mile a week pace.
Okay, nice. That's pretty impressive. About how many hours a week is that?
Oh, it's shameful now how long it takes. It takes me over 4 hours to do 10 miles.
Okay. That's a lot of time on your feet. And anytime when I feel like I'm putting in a lot of miles, I think about you and I'm like, okay, suck it up, Loretta, get out there.
Next month, Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm doing the first of my little trial runs. The training goes from just walking every day to walking a lot of miles every day. And then I do some race pace stuff. So I'll do 60 miles in 3 days and then do a couple of shorter days. We're going to go up and do a walk across from Westmoreland, Tennessee to Carthage, Tennessee. And we're going to get a cargo van and work out the whole thing because we're going to try to take the dogs with us. They've gotten so old they can't deal with being left alone anymore.
So they're going to make the whole journey across the whole transcontinental?
So the idea is we'll tote them along in the van. They walk with me every day, but they go 1 mile or 2. And at the end of 1 mile, they're pooped out. At the end of 2 miles, they're just about wasted. They're just not young anymore.
Right.
But they're as anxious to start as they ever were. They're hopping up and down and running in circles. By the time we get back to the house, they're ready to go in and crash on their beds.
So there's a comment in the comment from Ellie, and she said, you said the best dogs are often the worst dogs. What makes Big the worst, and what makes him the best?
He's a very intelligent dog, and he has a lot of needs. Of course, now he's easy because he sleeps most of the time. But when he's younger, he needed the time. He needed to work. Even now when we walk, we have a stretch where I put him on his leash, and that's the part of the walk he looks forward to the most. He loves to be at work. So a dog that is really, really intelligent and really interactive and really wants to do stuff with you is the best dog. But if you don't have the time or don't make the time to work with them, then they'll find something else to do. They're kind of like teenagers. If you don't have something good for them to do, they'll do something.
Right. To get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Does anybody have another question right now? If you do, you can put it in the comments or you can raise your hand. Looks like Ryan has a question, or he's playing around with the hand symbol again.
No, I have a question. I wondered if you fell so in love with Big because you feel like Big, because while I'm reading this, I have to put it down and cry. And I wonder if anyone else feels like this too. I sought out running because I'm the big, gentle giant, and people tend to be afraid of me because I'm autistic and I'm weird. And so I just wondered if you love him so much because you kind of feel like he's the dog version of you, because I sure feel like he's the dog version of me.
You know, that's what my mother said, and I don't know. I didn't see that. I actually thought Big was a good influence on me because no matter what happened, he maintains a positive attitude. He just expects things to come out good. And it was, you know, you look at him and you think, if he goes through everything he's gone through and it doesn't affect his attitude, then surely I could do the same, because less stuff happened to me than happened to him.
Well, now you're getting me with your answer. So I definitely, I feel that, like, the positive attitude, it definitely translates over to the running community. I love it. And I'm not very far into it because I keep having to put it down. So thank you.
It's a happy story. Big has ended up with a really good life.
That's awesome. All right, I have another question. Maybe you're gonna have to charge for this because it sounds like you do a pretty good job. What tricks do you have for training him to walk right next to you?
He's really intelligent. He is a 1-rep learner. As soon as he knows, all you got to do is get him to know what you want, and he does it. With some exceptions, because he also has a mind of his own. And walking was one of the difficult ones. He wanted to walk at a different speed than I did. So we had some times where it was an hour to go, 100 feet, because we would start to walk. He would go to the end of the leash. I'd make him stop. And we'd stand there until he was in the right spot and calm. And then we'd start. I'd take 2 steps and he was at the end of the leash and I'd make him stop. Because the thing that dogs don't want to do when you're walking them on a leash is stop. All the yelling and stuff you can do, the worst thing you can do is stop. And when he finally conceded that he would walk my speed, he's great on a leash. I put him on a leash out in the woods, and it's like he's not even there. You can't tell. He watches everything you do and paces himself to you perfectly. He's smart enough. We can walk through where the growth is dense, and he doesn't go on the wrong side of the tree. And if he does, he stops immediately and backs up and comes around to the same side as me. Little, unfortunately, does what most dogs do, which is she just goes. And Sandra has to walk Little, because that we put them on leashes. We're going near these people's house, and they have a big dog too. And Big, because it's his trail, thinks it's his territory. And because it's behind its house, the other dog thinks it's his territory. And 2 large male dogs that both think they're on their home turf doesn't work.
Yeah,
So
it sounds like that could get scary.
Yeah. Well, we didn't realize it until we were working on the trail. And the guy that lived there heard us and came out, and his dog came with him, and him and Big immediately locked up, and Tim Dines was there and was able to hold them apart.
Wow.
But his big old dog is also old like Big. But they still both think that they're tough. And it wasn't. So now when we get near where they live, I tell Big it's time to go to work, and he comes and stands next to me, and I put on the leash, and then he's just a gem the rest of the way until we get to the other side, and I let him off again. And
Nice.
It's his favorite part because he's on duty.
Jeff, would you like to ask your question, Jeff Morris? No? Okay, I'll ask for you. He says, speaking of working with, who worked with or trained whom? Did Big train you, or did you train Big?
There was a little bit of both. Big's a real communicator. I mean, you always know what he wants. It's not sure how he does it, but he's really easy to understand. Little just looks at you and knows she wants something. And you ask her and she gives you no clue. Do you want to go outside? Is your water bowl empty? Are you hungry? Of course, a lot of it you answer by the schedule. The schedule is inviolate. We get up, we eat. They take a nap. We go do our walk in the woods. They take a big sleep then because they're tired. Are we gone?
I can hear you. We just can't see you.
Okay. I think that it died on the.
Oops, we lost your sound. We can see you, but we can't hear you now. I think it appears like it's muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yep.
All right. It's this laptop with the little thing you slide your finger around. I need a mouse. I hate the mouse. I'd rather use a keyboard, but the mouse I can use. This little slidey pad on the computer face is just useless. But yeah, we have our schedule. And then the dogs follow it. It's got lots of sleep scheduled and 2 meals and their walk and their stinky treat, which is actually a supplement.
Okay.
For their aching hips.
All right, we have another question. When you recover after your surgeries, what does the route and schedule look like? In my book, you mentioned you're familiar with Southwest Missouri, and we'd love to meet up with you.
That's for next year. The one going east to west, I had to just cancel it out. Things are not going to be straightened out enough to where we can get that done. So I'm doing the Lake Michigan to Gulf of Mexico just to do something.
Oh.
And then next year I'll be going across from east to west. But I'll be looking forward to seeing people in Missouri.
Okay, awesome. From Stephanie, a question is, has Laz ever owned a pet that isn't a dog?
I had a cat, Effie, for 13 years. I didn't have a stable enough place for a dog. Cats don't require near as much. And she was a really good cat. But she did eventually pass away. You had to watch her because she liked to beat up dogs.
So was she?
She was stealthy. They never knew what hit them.
Was she around Big and Little then?
No, she was long gone before Big and Little came along.
Okay.
They came when we moved out here.
Okay. Do we have another question from the group? If you have a question, you can put it in the comment or you can raise your hand so I can see you. Our group is quiet, just taking it all in. I know somebody's dying to ask him a question.
There's a couple others in the chat.
Are there? I thought I got them, but if
Just
I missed it,
just came through now.
Okay, yes, here we go. This is from Thaddeus. Laz, your events are known for being different from most races that are a set distance or time over a set course. Is there a reason you prefer this type of event?
I put on the events I would like to run. So I guess that they can't be, I guess they're different than many events, but other people seem to like to run them too.
To answer your question, Thaddeus?
It's just a matter of thinking this would be fun. And then seeing if anyone else shares the same idea.
Of
I
the,
definitely want to. I'm certain I probably couldn't even get half a lap of any of them, but I definitely want to, so I can feel that.
The strolling gym is really pretty doable. The backyard, anyone can do a backyard. If you can run 4 miles in an hour, you can do a backyard. You may not win, but they're just for fun. The backyards have really caught on. There's nearly 200 of them in 50 countries now.
wow.
And apparently there's a lot more that I don't even know about. And
Wow,
I saw
that's
someone
crazy.
something about the Vol State. It was funny. We did the Vol State for years and years and years, and we thought, well, it'll never be popular because it's hard, but it's so much fun. And then it started in 1980, and then around just shortly after 2000, all of a sudden people started running it, and now they're crazy about it. They see the same kind of type 3, or maybe it's type 4 fun.
Did you, when you were running, did you do any kind of events that were similar to this, like that you actually participated in, or you're the ones that originally created it and there wasn't anything like that before?
Yeah, the Vol State was one. There was a Mr. Rogers Fun Run in West Virginia back in the late 70s, early 80s. It was like 164 miles. But the Vol State just was really repeating something that I like to do.
Okay.
I'll bet, can you still hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you. Nope, we can see you now. But it looks like it might have froze. We were on a roll for a second, but we've lost sound. Oops, we can see you moving a little bit, but you are muted, I think. It's weird that it just goes, all of a sudden we lose him. Somebody buy him a mouse.
I can relate to that. I hate trackpads. I hate the pads on. I cannot do that at all. I need a mouse. Connect a mouse to anything. yeah. The next Barkley request will be a mouse. That's funny.
Let's see. We still can't hear you. We can see you now, but can't hear you.
Hey, Tara, your cat can get him a mouse.
This is really like an ultra.
It is, isn't it?
Right? He's moving. Wait, she's slowing down.
And the suspense. Oh, yeah. I'm like on each word.
You're not lighting up.
There he is.
Now.
Yep, we can hear you. You're back.
Yeah, I think every time lightning strikes, it goes off, and then the storm is not even here yet, but wherever it is, it's interfering like hell.
It's all good.
Then it goes off, it comes back on, and if someone asks me to unmute, it puts up a little button that says the host is asking you to unmute. I click on it.
Okay. And then you're back.
For the
Is that
next time it happens.
All right, well, we have some more questions for you. I hope you're safe with the lightning. I hope we're not like putting you in danger by having you on.
Well, no, I would be in the house either way.
Okay.
Till
All right.
tomorrow. I'm hoping for big storms to walk in because that's always fun.
So we have a couple more questions in here. Let's see. I got to find them again. Do you have any plans on a short story on adventures of Big? And can you elaborate a little bit on Big's time at the frat house?
We don't know a whole lot about his time at the frat house, except they were unable to contain him, which was not a surprise. He liked to go to they would go out to the lake, and he'd swim out in the middle of the lake where there was a tree trunk sticking out and climb up on top. There it went again.
We can hear you. We just can't see you.
Okay, he would climb up on the tree trunk and sit and watch everyone swim. And he did.
Oops. I'll ask him to unmute again. We've lost him.
Someone said in the comments that you might be able to unmute him.
Oh, can I? I can say ask to unmute, but I can't unmute him. Unless somebody knows how.
No, you can't. All you can
Yeah.
do, all you can do is ask.
And I asked. We can see you. We just can't hear you.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, we can. He's back.
All right. It's just flipping on and off and on and off. But now I know when I see the yellow circle that you can probably hear me.
Yes. Yep, we can. Yep, that's the cue that we can hear you.
Anyway, he took to going around campus, and he's a scary looking dog, and they told him that even though he never did anything except look scary, he couldn't bring him back. And they couldn't keep him. They put him in the house and closed it up, but he found ways to open the door and get out because he's the Big. And he cannot be contained.
Okay, another question. I know you have a good imagination, so I'm sure this is how this evolved, but how did you come up with the idea of the backyard?
Okay, we'll see if I'm working. No, I'm not working.
Yeah, we hear you, but don't see you.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yep, we can. Yep.
The backyard has been in my head since high school.
Oh.
When I ran track, it was a race I came up with that I thought I could win because I wasn't fast, but I trained hard enough to be in really good shape, and I could take a lot of punishment. So when we were out here at the farm and we wanted to put on an ultra, we put on a regular ultra with multiple loops for time, but it's only 140 acres. So you just got a 4-mile track. And I dredged up the backyard. Well, I didn't think thought of it as the 4-mile race and called it the backyard because it was in the backyard. And the first year there were, I think, 47 people who came and ran it. The only 47 people that wanted to, and it's not ever had space left since. And other ones started cropping up. The number roughly doubled every year until 2020.
Wow, that's incredible.
And now as we get ready for the pandemic to end, the number has been going up steadily again because people are positioning themselves for when this is all behind us, because everyone's going to come out wanting to do stuff.
Right. Do you have it trademarked? Like a lot of the races, the bigger races are trademarked so people can't take them, or anyone can hold a backyard. Oops. We lost you. Lost your sound. We see you, but we can't hear you. No sound.
Loretta, did you request for him to be unmuted?
I did a couple times. I'll request one more time. I don't know what happens when I push that. It might just show up on the screen.
Yep.
He said he could click on it when you did that. But
Yeah.
it looked like he froze up right before it just disappeared again.
Let's see. Still on here. We just
Connecting again. Am I?
Yep, we're starting to hear you again. Oops, we
Oh.
lost you. Try again. We see you again. And we had your sound for just a second. There we go.
Am I back?
You're back.
Nope. Oh, I am back. Yeah. So the backyard is trademarked. Actually, when I went to trademark it, when it started spreading around the world, I started hearing about some guy in Sweden that was telling people they couldn't put on backyards. And it turned out he had trademarked it.
Oh, he
But
stole
I
it from
convinced
you.
him we should let everybody have backyard ultras and have a whole whole series of them. So we're affiliating. If you look at www.backyardultra.com and click the list of races and see all the different places you could go if you can run 4 miles in an hour.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know there was a spot like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really cool because that there's so many different places. There's a backyard ultra in Mauritius, and there's one in Vietnam.
Wow.
They're starting one in Thailand. There's like 4 or 5 in Ecuador. They have them in Estonia and Latvia.
Wow.
And a lot of them aren't affiliated. We're trying to get them all to group in with the same thing. So the same guy had trademarked it in the US as well, but I convinced him to transfer the trademark in the US to me.
Okay.
So we could build it into something big, because they're really big for average runners.
Right.
In Sweden, there are 30 or something. There's more backyard ultras than ultra marathons and marathons.
Wow. Did you ever think
But,
when you
Oh no. I wasn't sure enough people would want to run it to even fill my race.
Right.
But they're really social because you're all together every hour, and you all start every hour, and people find them non-threatening. So in Sweden, lots of people just do 2 or 3 or 4 yards. It's the furthest they've ever been, and they're excited. They hang a bell at the finish, and when people hit the furthest distance they've ever run, they ring the bell. So everybody on here, if you want to run a backyard ultra, just sign up and run one. It doesn't matter how far you can run, as long as you can do 4 miles in 1 hour.
Nice.
That's my problem. I wish they'd had them when I could run, because it's still a race I think I could have done really good at.
My tracking's in there.
Nice. Let's see. We just have a couple questions. It's almost 9 o'clock, so we'll wrap up. But I think this is a good question maybe to end. Laz, do you feel like you rescued Big, or do you feel like Big rescued you?
Call me anyway.
Big
love ya.
decided that he
Bye.
was my dog, and I don't think that he ever doubted it. And he always ended up back here. He ended up in the house. He's ended up being within a foot of me at all times. So it was kind of a mutual thing. We belong together.
Good. Awesome. That's awesome. Anybody have one last question before we wrap up? Well, Laz, thank you so very much for everything you've done for us, signing books and taking a lot of time and annoying Big with our boxes of books so that he couldn't move around your house. So thank Big and your wife for helping set this up so you could be on tonight. I really appreciate that. And we're so happy that you could be here with us today. And I know a lot of people would love to be able to follow you along as you make some of your journeys. So where is the website that we would follow that? Or where do you post that at?
I will probably post it to my Facebook page. I think that there's websites where it's going to go. It might be Vacation Without a Car. I'm not really sure. Because I'm just out there on the road. I tell them I'll post it on my Facebook page because it lets me write the way I want to write and doesn't format it for me.
Okay.
And then if I think that they transfer it to other places.
Okay.
But the idea this time is not to go at such a frantic pace as my trip across the country last time, and have more time to talk about the things during the day, because it's really great crossing the country that way.
Right. It sounds awesome. You're getting lots of compliments in the chat. I don't know if you can see it. Somebody needs to mute. I don't know who, but there we go. So they're getting
don't forget to take a picture.
Yeah, so you're getting lots of compliments in the chat. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to take a series of several pictures so I can get every screen. So if you just want to all like get in the screen and smile for a second, I'm just going to take a picture and I'm just going to keep moving on. Okay. Ready? One picture. Here we go. All right. Keep going. Oops. All right. I think I got everyone, and I think Laz is in both pictures. So yay. Is there any last words you want to say to us, Laz, before you head off?
Hey, Loretta, I have a special guest that wants to say hi to Laz.
Okay, we have a special guest. Hi.
Hey there, this is Jilly from Freeport, Illinois. You stayed at our house when you were walking across the states. Don't know if you remember, we had you in our little guest house.
Oh, I remember well, because that was that day before I got to the guest house was one of the really difficult days of the whole thing, because
on the gravel.
My feet were so chewed up by gravel that it was just terrible. The next day, we made a new route and walked all the way to Wisconsin to get to pavement.
Oh gosh. Well, hey, it's good to hear your voice and see you, and have a great spring.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's good to see you again. I enjoyed staying at your house. I don't know if I'm looking at you on there because everyone's postage stamp size, because they look the same. But yeah, that was a nice little guest house. You still
Yes, thank you.
You still have it there in case I happen to wander past again?
Oh, it'll always be there for you.
I'm not sure I could ever find it again.
Oh gosh.
I'm sure you're always welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
I am glad to talk to you again. It's been a long time.
Hey, I just got to tell you, I don't know if you heard, but today, Pat, who's with me, and I walked a bunch of miles on the Appalachian Trail. We're down in Georgia, and you're reading the Big Dog Diaries, but the highlight of my trip today, beautiful, beautiful hike, but I got to play with a 9-week-old pit bull puppy. Oh my God, so cute.
Where was that? I missed that.
That was at the store.
Oh,
nice.
Are you going to keep it?
No, it belonged to somebody else. I would if I could have, the cops wouldn't have been called, but but it was fun, and we're really enjoying hiking the Appalachian Trail, so it's beautiful.
Are you going to do it in pieces all the way up?
No, we're just doing 5 days right now in Georgia and part of, I think, North Carolina, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. It says storms all day, so we'll see how far we get. We got good
It's
rain
fun
gear.
to run- It's fun in the big storms.
I remember
But-
you had a lot of rain.
Oh, God. Just don't carry a golf club over your head.
Oh gosh. Well, thanks for letting me pop on for a minute.
Thank you. So, Laz, do you have any last words for us before you head off?
Thanks.
Glad I got you.
I thought he would recognize.
I think it was just cool. I've never been to a book club before. So I was a little intimidated.
And look at
I
all these
thought,
people who read your book.
I think that everybody
I-
else was intimidated by you, Laz. No one wanted to talk out loud.
I think so too. This is the quietest our book club has been.
I remember going to English class and we read books, and I like to read. I read incessantly, but then they would talk about hidden meanings and symbolism and all these things, and I thought, this has got to be a disappointment because I just told the stories that happened.
I don't think
She-
anyone's been disappointed.
No, and she didn't tell you we mostly just talk about running.
Because they were mostly books written by people who run.
Right.
About
Well,
running.
yeah, but we just
And I'm like, okay, I feel a lot more comfortable because most of them are not great writers either.
So it's been a fun night. I wonder, is Big still by you? That could Big make an appearance, or has he ran off?
Well, he has not moved an inch. Actually, he's moved a little bit. I'll move the thing again. We showed
Okay.
it to you earlier. And for
And that's-
some reason, you
Right, we couldn't see it. Oh, here we go. And there's Big. Yay. And I snapped a picture.
He kind of looks little.
He does look
kind of
little.
looks little.
Aw,
Looks
he looks
tired.
happy.
that head is the size of a bowling ball.
Oh my goodness.
And he likes to come up and put the top of his head right against you.
Aw. Does he get to sleep in
I'm-
your bed?
No, he's not a lap dog, and thank God he knows it.
There's a line, right? There's a line there.
Everything he lays on is quickly destroyed because he's just got a lot of mass in a small area. He lays on a stack of flattened beds.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming. And I know that you are probably still worn out from Barkley that just happened a few days ago. So we appreciate you taking time out to spend with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It was a lot of fun.
Good. Awesome. All right, everyone, have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week. Tara, what are the parts for next week? Is it 4 through?
It's gonna be 4 and 5, and then we'll
Okay.
finish with 6 on the last one.
Yep. So parts 4 and 5, and then the last week will be 6. So, all right, you guys have a great week. Thanks for coming. Thanks,
Welcome.
Loretta.
Bye. Thank you, Les. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Les. Bye.
Thanks, Loretta.